Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, welcome to another episode of the 94 Feet Podcast. It's your boy Big Zeke. I'm in the building with my brothers Kesey.
What's good, good people?
I'm also in the building with my brother Dre.
So Kesey gets top billing now.
He can get top.
Did I say something you don't like?
That's
No.
why he caught me off guard and I'm taking me a sip.
That's
Because
why I
usually
did
it's
that.
him first and then you come to me. So
I
then
did that because he was already he was talking crazy. Then he took a sip. That's why I did that.
What's up, y'all? What's up? Always a pleasure to be with my brothers. What's good, 94 Feet Nation?
Man, how y'all been doing this week?
Man, life is good. No complaints.
It's good.
no
It's good.
complaints.
No
You
complaints.
sure about that?
I'm positive about that.
Great.
That's
Well, I
good.
got a lot. No, I'm just-
That's good. Well, here we go. Another situation. We say blue, Kesey say yellow.
Kesey say yellow, man. He was
so-
on me about the Bucks game, man.
Oh, really?
Oh my God, he was all over me, man. We'll have to tell you about that a little later. And
Really?
shoot around.
I just wanted some tacos. I just wanted some tacos.
That has
man.
nothing to do
I
with.
told him they didn't even have no
Go-
tacos
you know what?
in that
Go ahead.
studio.
No, go ahead.
There wasn't even no tacos in the BMO Club. Nothing, man. Go ahead.
No,
Go
what
on.
happened?
I just wanted some tacos, right?
Uh-huh.
You know what he did?
What?
He
Walk
texted
past
me, he texted me back, LOL, they don't got none. It's a whole taco restaurant in there.
So that's in the Jockey Club.
But you got access to both.
But you don't need the Jockey Club when you're in the BMO Club. Now, do you?
So hold on a second. So pretty much you could have got him a taco. You chose not to.
That means I would have had to leave the arena, leave the BMO Club, and go to the Jockey Club, which I didn't have a wristband for,
Uh-huh.
to try to get in there. You know you can't get in the Jockey
Oh,
Club.
then you ain't got
without a
nothing coming,
wristband.
Kesey.
But if you got the BMO band, you automatically get access.
No, you do not. You have to stay within your club and your seats. That is not how it works.
What do you mean stay within your club? The thing, the entrance to the Jockey Club is right above you. I seen you.
The BMO Club, you can either go left or right, literally, and you have to go in that club. You cannot go in any club without the wristband.
Dude, yeah, you can.
No,
Oh, excuse me.
That
That was unexpected.
that's okay. Just like this conversation, but
Listen, next time I ask for some tacos, I want some tacos.
yo, I'm gonna just say this, folks. If you never had a chance to experience the Bucks game like BMO style or Jockey Club style, like we did when we went to the Knicks,
Yeah.
man, I encourage you to experience it at least once. At
I'm gonna
least
tell you
once.
like this.
At least once.
Shout out to Laughing Taco.
What is laughing? What?
Laughing Taco is the name of the restaurant.
Oh,
It's in the Jockey Club.
In the
So they
Jockey-
got, listen, that's what's crazy though. The arena got two of them.
Uh-huh.
It's one that's for the general public that's in the bowl area, and then you got one that's in the Jockey Club.
Mhm.
for folks with money.
Yeah, the folks who got a little bit of money.
Like Keith
The
said.
one that's in the regular general public area,
Mhm.
it only sells chicken tacos.
Okay.
Why do you know all this, bro?
Cause I went. Cause listen, after I had these tacos,
Apparently these tacos is off the chain, but good. Continue.
listen, after I had these tacos, I'm like, man, these are some of the best tacos I ever had.
This is
Huh?
still sports talk. I'm
This is
sorry.
sports talk. 'Cause
This
it's
is still
still
sports talk, but this
Go
is-
ahead. Go ahead.
Well, we was in the Jockey Club at the last game, at the Knicks game, and I went to the Laughing Taco, and they got steak tacos.
Oh, for real?
So in the general area, you get chicken.
Uh-huh.
In the Jockey Club, where you got a little money,
They up you.
you up it, and guess it's ribeye steak meat in the tacos.
Really?
Man, they got fresh avocado slices, fresh cilantro, fresh lime slice.
All right. So if you got a little bit of money, apparently you go to Pfizer Forum, get you one of them tacos.
Well, and then so fast forward to the BMO Club. So the BMO Club is just all inclusive everything, right? So you walk into the
So
BMO.
did they have those steak tacos down there?
They did not have any tacos, bro. I would have brought you some tacos if they had tacos.
See, I was in the general area at this game, so I wasn't allowed to go in the Jockey Club.
So we were in the BMO Club, and the BMO Club, right,
Uh-huh.
has 3 bars, right? I don't drink alcohol, but it has 3 bars,
So he say.
all
I know.
all inclusive drinks, right? All inclusive, all night until
Mhm.
5 minutes up in the third quarter. They had like a picnic bar where you had like brats, burgers, hot dogs, chicken strips. They had a salmon bar for like people that like to eat healthier. So they had salmon. They had like white rice and salad. Then they had a freaking pizza bar with like cheese and crackers. Then they had like popcorn bar and
Damn.
dessert bar and then a fruit bar. It's literally like when I left to go into the game, no one left the BMO Club because they all just sitting there just eating and partying and watching it on TV. So that's why if you ever notice at the Bucks game, those lower level seats are empty because everybody's in the BMO Club partying and getting their drink on. So I say this, if you can ever catch a game, and the Jockey Club was dope too. Real exclusive.
And I'm gonna tell you like this: the best thing about the Jockey Club, it ain't no long line.
None.
You know, when you're in the general area, you might have to wait
10, 20 minutes.
10, 20 minutes just for a drink.
Yeah.
And so what we started just talking about, these are Bucks games. So it's kind of sports related. And so, get to the BMO Club, get to the Fiserv Forum to support the Bucks. I'm surprised, but I'm not, because the Bucks is no longer a affordable family event anymore. Like,
that is very, very true.
if you're trying to take a family, it's not affordable. And I get that now. But there are so many people that I've known and that I've spoken to. This is my first Bucks game. I've never been to the Forum. I'm like, wow. But again, it doesn't surprise me because, even if you look at resale value of tickets right now, Ticketmaster charges crazy high fees.
Yeah.
Right. You're spending $150 a person if you want some lower bowl seats. But if you get a chance, y'all, get to the Fiserv Forum and enjoy the Milwaukee Bucks, because this is history.
And get you some tacos. Not the chicken tacos. So don't go to the general. You gotta go in the Jockey Club to get the steak tacos.
All right.
That's real talk, brother.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, after that nice informative talk about the food at Pfizer Forum, Andre, if you want to help us get into the injury report.
Yeah. Not just the food, though, just the experience of it.
But eating them tacos will get you injured, though. I ain't gonna lie. Let's go.
Let's go. All right, y'all. The NBA is injured again. My goodness. And this time around, it's some of the bigger stars. It's some of the superstars. So we are looking at the Brooklyn Nets. Kevin Durant is out with a sprained right shoulder, expected to miss one game. That is the first game of the season that he has missed. The Cleveland Cavaliers are without Evan Mobley with a sprained right elbow. He is out 2 to 4 weeks. Dallas is without their superstar, and really the only player making things happen over there is Luka. He is out with a sprained left knee and an ankle, and there is no timetable for his return. Denver, big man, MVP, Joker, sprained right wrist. He is out. Golden State Warriors, my pick to have the best record and to make it to the NBA Finals. Steph Curry, hip contusion. He is out. Draymond Green, right thigh contusion. He is out. And Iggy, right knee soreness. He is out. Otto Porter Jr., he is out with a left foot injury. Miami Heat, another top team in the Eastern Conference. Tyler Hero is listed as day-to-day with a right wrist injury. Bam! He's out with a knee injury day-to-day, but he did play last night. So it sounds like Bam is making a comeback a little bit, but they're watching him. And then Markieff Morris is out with a neck injury. The Milwaukee Bucks, Rodney Hood is out with a right hamstring strain. He didn't play Friday night. I don't believe he played Saturday either. The Knicks, Taj Gibson, groin soreness. He's listed as day-to-day. And Portland, this is a lot. Wow. Dame Lillard has lower abdominal pain, and he is listed as day-to-day. Get better, all you superstars, so the NBA can get back to normal.
All right. So, like last week, I introduced a new segment called Shoot Around, where we just kind of like dip our toes into news and rumors going around the NBA. The first one I wanted to talk about was DeMarcus Rosen said it was a done deal for him to go to LA.
DeMarcus DeRozan?
DeMar. I said DeMar.
You said DeMarcus.
You said DeMarcus Rosen.
DeMar DeRozan.
There it is.
There it is.
I'm subconsciously giving you guys the middle finger. I just want to put that out there.
Well,
I kind of saw it through your eyes.
Okay. So he said that it was a done deal for him to go to LA, but the business side didn't work out. With the Russell Westbrook struggles and DeMar DeRozan thriving, was this a bad move?
You go ahead, bro.
Oh man, I don't know if DeMar makes the Lakers better if he would have went there instead. Just think about it.
I know why they didn't pick him up, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just think what DeMar brings to the table wouldn't have changed the chemistry in that locker room. It's a lot of chemistry issues over there. That's what the problem is. And I think it's on Vogel right now. Until he finds that right lineup to get the energy in that team. The team doesn't have any energy. It's just like they out there playing. I haven't seen anybody do anything to make a statement defensively. And that's where chemistry starts defensively. Because if you defensively got energy, your offense is going to flow right behind it.
Yeah.
But they ain't playing no D.
Yeah.
So basically, they just out there. I mean, Melo probably was the best pickup so far to me.
Okay.
You know, at this point, the Los Angeles Lakers have been a complete disaster.
Not disaster. I mean,
you spoke your piece. Now let me speak mine before you respond. Just hear me out. Hear me out.
All right, man.
The Los Angeles Lakers have been a complete disaster. Zeke, look up their record for me.
They
Westbrook.
They are 8-9.
Westbrook is not fitting in with the offense. Okay, LeBron has been injured, and as we mentioned, the injuries are making him decline in his productivity. Anthony Davis, I guess, forgot that he is a top 75 player and should be the best big man in the game, right behind Joel Embiid or right on the side of Joel Embiid. And their bench playing has been non-existent. What I'll say to this is, side note, did you see the Boston Celtics trolling the Lakers at their game?
I did.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. But I don't think the Los Angeles, when you look at what's going on in Los Angeles right now, I don't think anything they could have done would have been wrong. Because when you're looking at this Westbrook experience, it makes you say, why not give Schroeder $84 million or $100 million, or why not give DeRozan an opportunity? Because clearly the Lakers are going down the wrong path, and they're going down it quick. Now, in the beginning, 5 weeks ago, this is actually our 6th episode already. We're 6 weeks in. In the beginning, I was like, give it time. It's the beginning of the season. But now you almost need to hit a panic button in Lakerland, because there is no one on that team when LeBron's not playing that can win games. And part of the problem is Russell Westbrook. I hate to say it, because he is a top 75 player. He is a triple-double king. But there are also times where he gets quadruple doubles because he had 10 turnovers. Or he'll take these wide open shots and not pass the ball to a hot Carmelo or another player that's wide open. I don't think the Lakers could have lost anything going after DeRozan, and I think maybe it possibly could have been better, but we'll never know. But Westbrook is a problem.
Whoa.
I mean, you just said a whole lot there.
Yeah, no.
But I don't know if you answered my question. But
I did. I said
I
that.
can't believe you hopped on his heels like that that early.
I'm saying it's your team. You should have been doing it.
It's not my team.
But what I'm saying, now it's not your team. Oh, now it's not your team.
All right.
Hold on. Let's get this straight right
Okay.
now.
Clear.
Before we go any further.
Because
I am not a Los Angeles Lakers fan.
You're a LeBron James fan.
I am a LeBron James fan.
So,
I am a hometown kid.
So let me ask you this question.
To the wheels fall off.
To the wheels fall off. So,
but before you ask, you accused me of not answering the question. And the outline says Russell Westbrook struggles, DeRozan thriving. Was it a bad move? I said right now it appears to have been a bad move, but nothing could have been a bad move if they didn't try it. That's what I said.
Okay, my apologies. Sorry about that.
I accept that. Go ahead.
I apologize then. What's wrong with you? Better get yourself together.
So I'll just say that I'm kind of with Kesey, because I don't think DeMar plays shooting guard, small forward.
Yeah.
So Russell Westbrook plays point guard. They needed a point guard after the Dennis Schroeder situation. So I don't know if it would have been a good deal. I think a lot of people underestimate DeMar DeRozan. Y'all got me saying
you
things.
can't say that boy name.
Y'all got me all tongue tied. DeRozan. It's not a lot that DeRozan can I think a lot of people underestimate him. And then when that whole Toronto situation, I don't say messed his career up, but it had people looking at his situation like, do I really need him or whatever? So I don't know. I mean, it could be one of those situations where I kind of agree with both of y'all where Andre said it could be a bad situation. It could be not. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But remember, bro, he also didn't really have a great career in San Antonio. You know, DeRozan, when he went to San Antonio, and I don't know if that was because of Pop's system or the fact that, you know, at that time he had come to the public that he was dealing with mental health.
I don't think it was necessarily the system.
We talked about DeMar DeRozan and his potential with the Los Angeles Lakers, some of the issues he was having with the San Antonio Spurs. But at the end of the day, I think DeRozan has been an undervalued player in the NBA. I don't think that people really appreciate him or give him the love or the credit that he's due. And I just think that the Lakers, he said it didn't work on a business side. So if I recall, I think he was looking for a max contract.
I think so too.
You know, go ahead.
LA couldn't find the money to pay him, basically.
Right.
And he wanted to get paid.
Right.
So it really wasn't nothing LA could have really done. They just didn't have the funds to match him at the time.
Right.
But by the time they got to Westbrook, he was already signed to Chicago.
Right. And it sounds like it's been a good move for Chicago because, I mean, other than them not being able to beat a couple key teams, they haven't been terrible. They haven't been terrible. Chicago's been good. So.
And I don't think the Lakers are like horrific because, I mean, horrific mean they ain't winning no games.
Right.
They 500 about.
They're 500, but let's remember the teams that they're beating, they should be blowing out. And the teams that they're losing.
But you got to remember, though, this is a different age and a different type of basketball being played out. That blowout days is not there like that no more.
Yeah.
I haven't seen blowouts since the Warriors when they had KD. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
I mean, you had three superstars.
Right.
So, I mean, it's easier to blow somebody out when you got three superstars, especially when you got good team chemistry.
Right.
And you just throwing in one elite scorer.
Right. That's fair.
It's different with the Lakers.
That's
you got Westbrook you got to figure out. You got Rondo you got to figure out. You got Dwight Howard you got to figure out. You got DeAndre Jordan you got to figure out. You got Carmelo Anthony you got to figure out.
You're
Malik
right.
Monk. All these players have never been in situations like this. You know what I mean?
Fair. That's fair.
So it's different. It's different for the Lakers. And I mean, I feel bad for the Lakers on how they really want to win, but they don't know how to win yet.
Right.
So that's where it is.
Right.
And I think Coach Vogel got to figure out.
He's on the hot seat.
Yeah, he's on the hot seat now.
He's on the hot seat.
I mean, he got to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's going to be a lot of scrutinizing coming behind this because you got some players. And how are you ranked like top?
Right. They were picked to win the title.
How are you the top? How do I say this? How do you have Melo on the court and you the top ranked, one of the top ranked offenses, and you can't beat nobody?
Right.
That's what I don't understand.
Right. Okay. So moving on in shoot around, Stephen A. Smith believes that it is over for LeBron James and that he will not win another championship in the NBA. What do you make of Stephen A.'s comments?
I'm so sick of that job, Turkey. You know I am. Anytime he says something about the Lakers, man, I get upset. He is the ultimate LeBron anti.
No, I think that's Skip Bayless.
Both of them. Both of them. Skip is just as bad. Skip is worse, though.
Skip is worse than Stephen A.
But Stephen A. be on their heels, and he on LeBron heels like 90 going west, man, all the time. I mean, I don't think it's the end. I just think he got to figure it out. They got to figure it out. There's some figuring out to do.
Yeah. You know, I'm going to agree with Stephen A. partially.
I almost gave us the label today.
If LeBron James can come back healthy, the Lakers still have a chance. But I don't know that the Lakers are good enough to beat a Golden State team, a Milwaukee Bucks at full force, a Phoenix Suns that's healthy, that's on a 10 or 11 game winning streak. The Lakers' days of glory might just be numbered. And we know that because the Lakers' success depends on LeBron's success.
But my thing is, you can't say their days are numbered because they said they wrote off Golden State, right?
They wrote off Golden State, and Golden State had 3 bad years, too. Golden State had 3 bad years.
They wrote off Golden State as soon as KD left.
We're talking about now LeBron in year 17, who's out more than he's in, who now has to try to manage the egos of his boy Carmelo, of Westbrook, of Rondo. He has to try to convince AD that he really should be the star of this team. The Lakers right now, and I'm going to say this, Keith, and you may disagree, they're just not a good basketball team right now. I'm not saying that they can't get there, but the window of opportunity is closing.
Yeah, this is the window. It's fast, like you said. But at the end of the day, I think they gotta make some different. They gotta make some moves. I think
they gotta make some moves. And Stephen A's point about LeBron with it being over, I mean, he's declining now because of health. We anticipate LeBron playing in year 18. We anticipate him playing in year 19 and even year 20. The NBA is just getting better. It's getting younger and it's getting better. Teams are building themselves up. You have teams now that are being competitive that weren't before, the Milwaukee Bucks, the Chicago Bulls, the Heat, the 76ers. So Stephen A saying that LeBron James is not going to win another ring. It isn't wrong, but it shouldn't be news either because LeBron doesn't have anything to prove. He's won 4 championships. He's won 4 finals MVPs. He is the second greatest player of all time. His stats on the court and off the court speak for themselves. But the fact that Stephen A said he's not going to win another ring, it really shouldn't be news because many people probably agree with him, but they shouldn't be surprised in year 17 that a player that's declining in their health doesn't win a championship. That's okay.
But I don't think he's declining. I just think
health-wise, you don't think he's on the
every
decline?
player goes through seasons where they have injuries. KD has had seasons where he went injured. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And he came back full-fledged the next year, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, LeBron has had some long years, man.
Yeah, long seasons, man.
Long seasons, his whole career almost. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it was bound or inevitable. Mute that out.
Inevitable
that he was going to have an injury-prone couple of seasons here.
Absolutely.
I knew it was coming. I just didn't know when it was coming.
Absolutely.
And I mean, he takes care of his body, so I mean, he'll be fine. You just give the Lakers. I'll say if they by game 30, if they're not at least 5 games over 500, it's time to make some moves.
Okay. All right.
But the thing is, though, who do you move?
Right. The Phoenix Suns are on a 10-game winning streak. They are the second in the NBA. Is a trip back to the NBA Finals in their future? What do you make of the Phoenix Suns winning streak?
Oh, man. I mean, it's a lot of injuries out here right now. So
right?
I don't know who they're – I haven't seen who they played recently.
Yeah.
So I can't say if it's based off of who they played. I mean – the last game they won. I think they beat Dallas without Luka, right?
So they beat Dallas 112-104. They beat Dallas again 105-98. They beat Minnesota 99-96. They beat the Rockets 115-89. They beat Memphis 119-94. They beat Portland 119-109. They beat the Sacramento Kings 109-104. They beat the Atlanta Hawks 121-117. They beat the Houston Rockets again 123-111. And they beat the New Orleans Pelicans 112-100. And they beat Cleveland 101-92. So I'm going to say this. I'm going to agree with you. A 10-game winning streak is impressive, but these are all teams you should have beat.
My exact point. The only team that they played in the last 12 games was Denver, and Denver beat them.
Yeah, literally.
So I mean,
literally, it's impressive. But again, like we said about the Los Angeles Lakers, these are games you're supposed to win. And if you look at these games, bro, other than a few, they really weren't blowouts, right? I mean, some were double digits, which is great. But it's great that the Phoenix Suns are on a winning streak. I don't necessarily have them going back to the finals because they won't beat Golden State. I'll put money on it if I was a betting man. They won't beat Golden State.
Who?
The Phoenix Suns.
No, they won't be Golden State.
They won't beat Golden State.
I don't know, though.
I do.
I don't know.
I do.
They play good team basketball like them.
They do, but trust me.
And they got the point guard.
Clay has now been cleared for practice. So they're hoping to get him back right before Christmas so they can test out his minutes. Steph Curry is playing at MVP level, is he not?
Yeah, he is.
He is playing at MVP level. Jordan Poole is probably making the case for most improved player, right?
Probably.
You know, so Golden State is a team that's to be reckoned with. So to put the Phoenix Suns back in the finals just because they had a 10-game winning streak against some scrubs is a little premature.
But I mean, Golden State didn't really beat nobody either, though.
Golden State has beat the Suns. They've beaten the Lakers. They've beaten the Clippers.
But the Lakers are struggling. They beat the Lakers the first game of the season. Come on, man.
Fully staffed, though.
But they have no chemistry yet.
I get it.
That's
but
their biggest issue is chemistry. The Lakers have the weapons. They just don't have the right chemistry right now.
Mm-hmm. So where do you see the Phoenix Suns in terms of how their season is going to look? So we both said no to the finals. Obviously, they'll make the playoffs. Do they have a deep run in the playoffs? Go ahead, Keith.
The way I'm looking at it right now is the way the season's looking right now. It might be Golden State and Phoenix in the Western Conference Finals.
Okay.
And if it comes down to that, I might have to roll with Phoenix.
Okay.
Because when you compare rosters, I like Phoenix rosters better. Even though I like Steph, but I think between Steph and CP, they kind of cross each other out.
Right.
Compared to and also you got to think like Devin Booker and Clay. They kind of compatible. It goes down to big man versus big man. And I'm taking Ayton over any big man that Golden State has right now. Ayton playing some good ball.
Yeah. That's all good, man. The Houston Rockets are toying with the idea of cutting John Wall. And rumors have it that the Miami Heat are interested in acquiring his services.
John who? It's been so long since I heard that name. Every time I hear it, I'm like, John who?
Listen,
John Singleton?
God rest his soul.
I'm just saying, like, that's a famous.
I feel it. I know what you're saying. But John Wall, to me, he should call it a career. He made his money. He hasn't played in 3 or 4 seasons. What can John Wall do for the Miami Heat?
But I mean, you got to think of it like the Rose situation.
Right.
Rose had some rough 4 or 5 years before he got where he at right now. Now he's in a good place.
Mm-hmm.
I just think John Wall got to learn his body and what he can and can't do no more, and change up his game the way Derrick Rose is, because Derrick Rose has figured it out now.
Yeah.
The things he used to do when he was MVP, he can't do right now, and he's figured out a new way to be successful and still be within himself.
Right.
And that's what it boils down to. John Wall can't go 100 miles an hour no more. He got to slow his tempo down and play a different type of basketball now.
You know, my thing with John Wall, though, again, where does he fit on Miami? Miami, he have a nice roster. They figured it out. They already have Kyle Lowry as their point guard.
And he's shooting horrific right now.
But he's always been a streaky shooter. So they knew what they were doing when they signed him. They knew that he was a streaky shooter. But what can John Wall do? It's like you said last week about Isaiah Thomas. Like, who has seen him play? Who has seen John Wall play? Who knows what he's capable of? He doesn't practice.
Before he got hurt in Houston, he had a few good games.
He had a few good games, but again, he was injured again. If I'm the Miami Heat, I wouldn't bank on messing up my team's chemistry. The Miami Heat are in a great position right now to be competitive for the Eastern Conference Championship, I believe. I don't think that they'll win it, but the Miami Heat has figured things out, right? They figured out their rotation. They figured out their 6th man. They figured out their 7th man, and they're gelling with each other, right? They're playing good basketball together. Bringing in a man who hasn't played over 30 games in 5 years, I think, is a risky move, and I don't think the Miami Heat should give him any consideration.
But I don't think John Wall has been wrote off as a bad locker room player, though.
You
know what I mean? So, like,
no, I don't think that.
I don't think he can pitch. I don't think he can hurt them.
Mm-hmm.
All they can do is hope that he can give them something. If he give them anything, that's a win situation. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because, I mean, he's not a bad locker room player. He's not a horrible player when he's healthy. It's just the point of, can you get him to health And if he's playing, I think he can help them out sometimes when they are struggling on offensive, especially when Lowry is struggling.
Right.
Because, I mean, Lowry's not a get to the basket player no more.
No.
He's a spot-up shooter
Yep.
and get the ball out of his hands.
Yep. That's fair. Stephen A. Smith again hopes that Kyrie Irving gets cut by the Brooklyn Nets, and he has accused Kyrie Irving of doing Kevin Durant bogus. He said, and I quote, "I hope Kyrie Irving gets cut. He played Kevin Durant. He thinks that KD should ask for a trade next year." What do you make of Stephen A. Smith's comments on the Kyrie Irving and KD?
He might be spot on with that one.
Yeah? Wow, you're actually agreeing with Stephen A.?
I normally don't. But I feel that KD don't belong in Brooklyn, man.
No.
That's not where he belonged.
It was not a good move, man.
If Irving would have stayed, it was the perfect situation at the time. But now it's just him, and now he's doing basically what he did in OKC.
Yeah.
Just out there dropping buckets.
That's it.
and
he's playing next to I don't know what's going on with James Harden, man. I think it's that foul rule that the NBA has enforced, because since they've enforced that rule, James Harden has not been an MVP caliber player. He's been a good player, but his productivity is down. His scoring is obviously down, and he does not get as near as many shots. So Stephen A. Smith once again says that Kyrie Irving, he's been all over Kyrie since the whole vaccine issue. I would agree. Kevin Durant mostly went to Brooklyn because of Kyrie's influence. Kyrie is the reason that KD went over to Brooklyn. If you think about it, he left the warm climate to be in the cold climate of New Jersey, right? Or Brooklyn, rather. He left a guarantee winning situation to almost what should have been guaranteed with a healthy Kyrie and a healthy Harden. But he left a 73-9 team that won 2 titles, that would have won 3 had he not gotten hurt, to what is almost like, wow, you guys lost to the Bucks. Now you're fighting for a spot because you don't have your boy Kyrie. But this is what I'll say to Stephen A's comments. He is spot on. Kyrie did play him, but at the end of the day, that's what you get. Because KD, you're supposed to be the man, not the other way around. What sets KD and LeBron apart is LeBron has talent coming to him. KD follows talent. Now, granted, LeBron followed D-Wade to build the Miami 2.5-man super team. But after that, it was the LeBron show. They started coming to Cleveland. They started going to L.A. KD should have put his foot down and said, okay, I'm going to be the man in Brooklyn. You come follow me. So KD asking for a trade, I don't think I disagree with that part that Stephen A. Smith said, because KD needs to learn how to get it done with what he has. His 2 championships that he has are already sort of, what do they call it? Asterisks in the eyes of many, even though he has the titles. But you don't leave your team. You work with what you have, because you still have James Harden, who is a top 10 player in the NBA, a top 75 player, a scoring offensive machine, and you figure it out. So I disagree with Stephen A's comments on having Kevin Durant request a trade. If I'm Brooklyn, I'm denying any forced trade request that man has.
For who?
I'm denying KD. You don't get a trade. You're going to play out your contract here in Brooklyn.
You think so?
If I'm the Brooklyn Nets and KD asking for a trade, you are going to play out this contract. I'm not trading you.
So you would rather make him suffer than to try to bring in something different?
It was his choice to come there, man.
But he came there under circumstances of being able to play with Kyrie.
So you hold the organization accountable because Kyrie wants to be the voice of reason because he doesn't want to get a vaccine. So you hold the franchise accountable for what Kyrie did.
Yep.
No, I disagree with that.
Because either you get rid of him and bring me in somebody else, or I go. So what is it going to be?
Yeah.
That's where Brooklyn is at right now. They stuck in a hard place right now. It's like, man, do I get rid of this great player, or do I keep this great player and keep another great player unhappy?
Yeah. The one thing I think we have to also realize is Brooklyn, if they're not going to cut Kyrie because they're not to pay him right now because he's not being paid. He's losing money. So if you cut him, now you got to pay him. So I don't think
you got to trade him.
You got to trade him. I don't think Brooklyn plans to cut Kyrie because they're not losing anything.
They got to trade him.
You got to trade him. But at this point, we've already talked about Kyrie's value dropping big time. Who wants to deal with that?
There's only one person that can deal with him.
And that's LeBron. So you're saying a Westbrook Kyrie swap.
That's what I say.
A reunited
OKC. A reunited OKC and a
Brooklyn,
reunited Cavaliers.
In LA. I don't think it'll ever happen, but KD, don't ask for a trade. Don't play your team. Do your team right. Luke Walton was just fired from the Sacramento Kings.
Well overdue.
He literally.
He should have been fired a long time ago, man. He has not coached a good team. He hasn't been able to coach a team the way they need to be coached yet. The only reason he was known for what he was known for is, like you said earlier, was what happened in Golden State. But that team was locked in and loaded already. That was a fully loaded pistol. All he had to do was shoot it.
Literally. Luke Walton was rewarded for his interim head coaching job when he led the Brooklyn Nets. He led the Golden State Warriors to a 39-4 start in the 15-16 season when Steve Kerr was recovering from back surgery. So everybody was looking like, oh, this guy is a great coach. He led a fully loaded Golden State Warriors team, I might add. A fully loaded team. That is the year they lost the NBA Finals to the Cavaliers. They lost 4-3. That was when Draymond got suspended in Game 6. But the team was loaded. Listen. We both said you and I could have coached Golden State to that 39-4 record.
You could have just threw them out there. You could have had no offense. They could have just ran motion.
They
could have ran motion offense and beat everybody still.
And they awarded him rather with the Los Angeles Lakers head coaching job for 3 seasons. His record in the 16-17 season with the Los Angeles Lakers was 26-56. Luke Walton, mind you, does not have a 500 record as a coach.
But his first season was the Mambas' last season, right?
I believe so.
That's one of the reasons they brought him in, because everybody knew the Lakers wasn't going to be good. It was just to give Mamba his farewell tour. You know what I mean? He was going out and dropping 40, dropping 30.
His second season with the Lakers, they were 35-47. Again, missed the playoffs.
Who was the team?
The Los Angeles Lakers was the 17-18 season. I believe that's the year they had a high draft pick.
Is that the year they brought in LeBron?
I think it's the year they brought in Lonzo Ball. They drafted him up, I believe. But nevertheless, his third year with the Los Angeles Lakers, they were 37-45. They missed the playoffs again. Okay. Luke Walton has not proven himself to be a good coach. His record with the Sacramento Kings, 31-41 in back-to-back seasons. And this year, when they fired him, they were 6-11. Luke Walton did not deserve a head coaching job in the first place. There are many head coaches that were passed up on head coaching jobs. Alvin Gentry, Dwayne Casey, who was fired the year he won Coach of the Year. Mark Jackson hasn't had an interview. Tom Thibodeau was out there. So many better coaches than Luke Walton. Luke Walton is a household name. As you know, his father is Bill Walton. And the fact that he was a head coach was pretty much a slap in the face to all the good coaches because, again, he's proven nothing. He has a coaching record of 40%, of .408, and he has never been to the playoffs with any team during his career. So, again, they fired him, long overdue. But also, I think the expectations are way too high for a man that was coaching the Sacramento Kings. Who really thought the Sacramento Kings were going to do anything? Whether Phil Jackson, you, me, Walton, or anybody else was there.
I agree. They wasn't expected. There wasn't a lot expected out of them at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it was worth the try, but it was the ultimate test. Well, I wouldn't even say test. It was the way to show if he really earned that coaching position.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that was all about. Like,
Mhm.
let's see what you can do with this group of young guys. If you can bring them along and maybe win some games, but they ain't done much.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I agree. So let me ask you this, Keith. When you talk about Luke Walton being fired as a coach, how do you feel about the NBA firing coaches in the middle of the season? What is expected? Alvin Gentry was named interim head coach for the rest. I'm guessing for the rest of the season for the Sac Kings. But what is the NBA and the teams trying to prove by hiring coaches? Not even mid-season. This is still considered the beginning of the season. They fired the man after 17 games,
Because you're supposed to get off to a better start than they did.
especially in year 3.
Especially in year 3 with that group of young guys that they got. They don't have no scrubs. I mean, they got about 4 or 5 talented young guys over there. They should be a well over 500 team right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I think he didn't. I think that's where they figured that he's not the fit for that team.
Yeah.
Because what is Sacramento record right now?
6-11.
6-11. They could have did that without him. They could have hired me and been 6-11. You know what I mean?
Literally. And I think, a lot of times people say, well, coaches aren't playing the game. But I think if you watch coaches like Phil Jackson, Doug Collins, Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra, Tyronn Lue, coaching matters. Coaching makes a difference. Coach Bud, we gave him a lot of slack, but Coach Bud has shown that he's a good coach. He doesn't always make the right decisions, but your teams have to be better. And unfortunately, you're not going to fire your star players. It's not as easy as picking up a phone. Hey, Kesey, come take Dre off my hands. He's not doing what I want him to do for my team, but I'm sure he could do it for your team. So it's easy to put a coach in a hot seat and make them accountable for the lackluster season that their teams are having.
I mean, Bud is a good coach to me. I mean, it took him a while to understand that he had to make adjustments in order to be successful.
Right.
And I think that's what all coaches, once you learn to make adjustments, like game time adjustments, you can be successful. Because there's some coaches that be stuck in their ways and this is what you're going to do and you're going to keep running until I say we done running it.
Okay.
And Bud learned that this past playoffs, and look what it got him. It got him a championship.
It sure did. Stephen A. Smith has once again gone in on Scottie Pippen because this time around, Scottie Pippen said that he wishes that Kobe Bryant was his teammate and that Kobe Bryant would have been a better teammate than Michael Jordan. What do we make of Stephen A's continuous comments, or Scottie Pippen's comments, rather? Scottie Pippen's comments, once again, going after Michael Jordan in the press, man. What do we make of this, man? This is the third week in a row that we're talking about Scottie Pippen, or like I like to say, number 33. What do we make of Stephen A's comments about Scottie and Scottie saying that he'd rather play with Kobe Bryant? What do we make of that nonsense?
Okay.
Jeez.
Okay. Now, I was riding with Scottie for a minute. I was ghost riding with him for a minute. You know what I mean? We was in the drop top kicking it. But now Scottie done got too wild, and he might be doing just a little too much for me now. I mean, come on, man. You would rather play with Kobe Bryant than Michael Jordan?
Literally.
Somebody should have slapped him as soon as he said it. I love Kobe, man. Kobe was
rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Kobe. But to say you would rather play with Kobe Bryant than Michael Jordan was really a lot of shade thrown.
Scottie Pippen said Kobe Bryant was a great student of the game, and he would ask me questions about how I would guard Michael and just trying to improve his craft. Scottie Pippen also said that Kobe was one of the toughest players that he ever played with. And here's the bottom line. Scottie, you wanted to sell books. You did it. You made the New York Times bestseller list, right? He made the list last week. I'm not buying that book.
Why not?
Listen, man, you don't get to.
You don't want to know what he got to say?
I do not. He's been saying it all over TV.
But I'm just saying, though, you don't want to know what this whole big old rant was about, what he was ranting about all this time. You got to read the book. I'm going to read the book.
I'm going to tell you like this. Scottie has been in the press bashing Michael for months now. There's nothing left to read. Okay, we know you hate Michael, even though your Instagram gave him a shout out and called him your best friend on his birthday earlier this year, right?
It didn't say my best friend. It said happy birthday to my brother.
Okay, a brother's probably a little more important than a best friend.
But listen,
I'm sorry, I stand corrected.
The league is a brotherhood. Regardless of what goes down and what they beef about, it's still a brotherhood. Just like the police department. It's a brotherhood.
Listen, man.
Regardless of how you beef.
Listen, Scottie Pippen wanting to play with Kobe Bryant, I don't think that's a terrible thing. But when you play with Michael Jordan, those are just things you don't say. Right? I can see if he played with Clyde Drexler or Sherman Douglas or...
Okay, I got a question for you. Because I know you're a Michael Jordan fan.
The GOAT.
That's why you don't like nothing Scottie got to say. Anything you say about Jordan, you don't like it. I get it. I totally
shout out to Sneaker Rap for the cool grades, y'all. I got them cool grades on a shock drop on Monday.
Anyways, I couldn't get them. But just imagine a Lakers team with a Kobe Bryant and a Scottie Pippen.
Okay.
How many rings do you think Kobe would have had right now?
If they were playing in the era of MJ, it's hard to say because I told you I believe MJ could have did it with anybody. He could have picked someone and had them as.
Bamba had that same mentality. Jordan had where he was like win at all costs, talk crazy to whoever he got to talk crazy to. But he also was a type of player that didn't mind asking questions. You know what I mean? To get better.
Kobe was a student of the game, as Scottie said. People have to remember when Kobe first came in, nobody thought Kobe was going to be the Kobe that we've all seen. Kobe came in off the bench. He was traded from, I think, was it the Pistons that drafted him? Or Charlotte. It was Charlotte that drafted him. And there was one year, I think he was a finalist for Sixth Man of the Year. So a lot of people didn't expect Kobe Bryant to be the Kobe that we are all hailing as a top 10 great player.
Nope, they didn't.
They didn't.
I watched the Kobe Bryant interview not too long ago. He did. Who was that he was doing the interview with? But either way it go, he was talking about the Los Angeles Clippers. He was like, man, I went in there. I had a good workout. They told me I had one of the best workouts they've seen in a long time. But he was only 17 at the time.
Yep.
And they said to him, nobody will take us serious drafting you as a 17-year-old.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What do you think the Los Angeles Clippers are thinking in their head by not drafting Kobe Bryant?
You know, you ever watch that? And you all can't see us on TV, but you all ever watch the movie The Temptations when the lady used to manage them before they were the Temptations? And
you talking about?
And my girl is playing in the background, and she's sitting at home, and she smacks her head with her fist. She says, she smacks her head with her fist, and she says, "Dang," you know what I'm saying? I think that's what a lot of players do once they look at the stardom. The same thing could be said about Giannis Antetokounmpo. When we drafted him, people were like, "Who? What?"
Dirk Nowitzki, because the Bucks had him.
Dirk, that was for Tractor Trailer, right?
They had him,
but people didn't know Dirk was going to be Dirk.
I know the Bucks was busting themselves upside the head when they saw the caliber player Dirk was.
So the NBA draft is like the lottery. You don't know what you're going to get. When you play scratch off, when you play Powerball, you're just hopeful that something could happen. You really can't fault yourself for not getting a player who wasn't projected to be good. Kobe wasn't projected to be a superstar. Dirk was not projected to be a superstar. These were just players that were coming into the league that had some talent. And so Scottie Pippen, I'm not going to say that he's not wrong for wanting to play with Kobe, but to say that when you played with the GOAT, it's just really insulting, and it really does show Scotty's bitterness. So I hope that whatever Scotty has with Michael, I hope they can sit down and hash it out because, again, it's getting old. And right now it is looking very desperate of him to say those things. So, you know.
Yeah, Scotty, I was with you for a minute, bro. But you lost me, man. You lost me, man.
Yeah. And so, this has been another episode of the 94 Feet Podcast. I'd like to thank my brother Keith.
I appreciate it.
Shout out to our brother Zeke, who is not here with us today, but sending him all the love and prayers, my brother. Man, we can't wait to get you back in the studio.
For sure.
Listen to us on
Spreaker,
Spotify,
iTunes,
Apple Podcasts,
Amazon.
There you go. Anywhere your favorite podcasts are played, you can listen, you can dial in, like, subscribe, comment, like us on social media at 94 Feet Podcast. That's 94FT Podcast, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Again, like, subscribe, tell a friend, agree with us. Probably not.
Also, make sure you go to the Jockey Club when you go to your next Bucks game and get you some steak tacos.
Listen, shout out to the Milwaukee Bucks.
Shout out to the Milwaukee Bucks. Shout out to the Laughing Taco.
Yeah. Have a wonderful, happy Thanksgiving. Be safe. Take this time to appreciate family, friends, and always remember to do your best and take care of yourselves and each other. Happy Thanksgiving, 94 Feet Nation.
94 Feet.